Yo, what's going on, gamers? It's your boy Spino, and we're back with another Minecraft video. And today I'm going to be teaching you guys 10 tricks on how to kill the Ender Dragon. And we're gonna let's jump right into it. Let's just start with tip number 1. And we're gonna go right in here. This is the house I've set up. I've set up a house, and we'll just showcase to you guys. So tip number 1 is going to be the necessities. Things that I'd say, unless you're a speedrunner or you've beaten the Ender Dragon like 10 times before, I'd say you probably should need. So this is what I'd consider as a necessity to bring to the Ender Dragon fight, at least. I'd say diamond tools, diamond armor, so at least a stack of food that's decent food. By the way, guys, I'll go over food. I'm gonna be doing a food video talking about what I rank all the Minecraft food. So make sure you guys go check that out. That's coming out in a few days. I also say brings at least 16 eyes of Ender. I'd recommend more like 20, just in case some break along the way, because you need to fill in the end portal frame. You need at least 12 to fill in the portal frame safely. I also recommend bringing a bed so you can set your spawn there. I recommend you write down your coordinates based on F3. You press F3 and you can write down your coordinates right here, all your coordinates, and to write down for basically resetting your spawn. You also probably should take a bow and arrows. We'll get onto enchantments later, and I recommend 8 enderpearls just so you can get up the towers and easier, and you have a chance of saving yourself if you fall in the void. I also should mention that the same thing should be done for netherite armor. It can be the same thing, because I'd say diamond, however, is probably the bare minimum if you have not beaten the Ender Dragon before or you're not confident in beating it. So yeah, let's move on to tip number 2. Okay, so number 2 on 10 tips are enchantments, and I'll be talking specifically about the enchantments that help standardly. So they're not custom enchantments. They're not enchantments that have only one use. I'm talking about the ones in general that are good. I'll go over them. So we're going with protection, sharpness, feather falling, power, unbreaking, infinity, and mending. And I'll explain each one why each one's good. Protection is definitely good. You definitely want protection on some of your stuff if you haven't killed the Ender Dragon before. Sharpness is also really good. It's good on a sword. When the Ender Dragon goes to the end portal, you can go ahead and kill it with a sword, and it becomes super useful then. Feather falling is very useful if you're gonna fall off a tower. You take minimalistic damage, and it's really good. Unbreaking is always good because your items last longer. Infinity is good on a bow because you can have more inventory space, and you can also it's also really good because you don't have a limited amount of arrows. Power is also good because it makes the bow do more damage. And mending is good because you can fix your tools all after you finish the battle. You can fix all your tools. Now keep in mind for all these that they do not have to be unbreaking 3, sharpness 5, protection 4. They do not have to be. They just have to be. They just have to be like at least 1 for this, which is kind of necessary. So, and next we will be going on to number 2. Okay, so number 3, we're going on with potions, and potions are very underused. I think they definitely have more applications in the Ender Dragon fight, and they're definitely somewhat useful. So let's go over to useful ones. There's invisibility, which can make you invisible to Endermen. There's potion leaping that can help you bridge up faster to if you're not going to be using arrows, and you can bridge up faster to the end crystals. Potion healing, that's always useful. Strength can help you deal more damage. Swiftness can help you get around to get to the dragon quicker. Regeneration can also help. It can help you heal. But the 2 ones I want to talk about are night vision. It's kind of useful because while it makes the end look horrendous if you do it, and it turns the end pink and purple, and it looks terrible. It can be useful if you don't really care how the end looks. But the one I'm going to mainly be talking about is slow falling. Slow falling is a very underused potion, and it can be really useful in the Ender Dragon battle. Let's say the Ender Dragon flings you up 100 blocks in the air. If you have a slow falling potion, and in Ender Pearl, you can almost guarantee that you'll get back to the main end island. And it's really useful. It can also help you take less damage from End Pearl from bridging up. And I think it's very underused. And I really suggest using it if you're a first timer. And now we will move on to tip number 4. Okay, so number 4 on our list of top 10 tips is snowballs. Snowballs are very useful in the end because I believe they can damage the Ender Dragon, but they also can help taking out end crystals. If you have a limited amount of arrows and you want to take on the Ender Dragon, I recommend snowballs because if you have good aim, you can take out the end crystals. Now, a good thing to know is that you have to have a good aim at them because you can miss, and I believe that actually, yeah, see, it's very hard. It can be hard, and arrows are probably more reliable, but they can still be useful. And as you can see, I suck at this, so I probably won't be able to hit it. There we go. And as you can see, from this bedrock right here, snowballs are a decently reliable method. Also, I'd like to note that I do have night vision on, but I only have it on because to make sure you guys can see, because I know YouTube darkens content. So, and now we will move on to tip number 5. Okay, so our next tip, tip 5, is using Ender Pearls. And I did talk about using Ender Pearls under necessity, but I'm also going to be demonstrating here how soul following is also useful. So immediately when I spawned in where I'm down. So what I'm going to do, I can use an Ender Pearl and get up there. Now I'm going to take my soul following potion now, because I'm going to go ahead and use this method to scale. So I'm going to attempt to scale. And see how I'm not taking damage. It's really useful, and a lot of people don't use it, so. It does make you a bit sore, though, so if you can take a swiftness potion, it does help. As you can see, here, if you get on top, and you can break this, and see when you fall, you fall. Another thing is that if the Ender Dragon does get close to you, and you do want to move away, because you're in a bad position, as of when this Ender Dragon is actually going to feel like it, you can also use it to get away. Now, unfortunately, this Ender Dragon is not doing it right now. So, but if the Ender Dragon does come close to you, you can use Ender Pearls to move away. Now, you gotta keep in mind, you gotta keep a notice on your health bar, because Ender Pearls do damage. And as you can see, this is where I died. This is like my third attempt of not dying. So, that was tip number 5. I almost got killed there, and I got killed. So let's go to tip number 6, shall we? Okay, so tip number 6 will be using a pumpkin. And a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people used to do this, but they don't do it, and a lot of new players don't know. But Endermen will not aggravate on you if you put a pumpkin on your head. Now, it used to work with player heads, I think, but now it doesn't anymore. So, you can look directly at the Enderman. Unfortunately, it does, hurt your vision and stuff. It does make your vision look terrible, but at least the Endermen are not attacking you. And unfortunately, you do look horrendous. So yeah, that was tip number 6. We'll go to tip number 7. Okay, so tip number 7 is using a water bucket. Now, a lot of people use this method. Some people don't know, but I don't recommend using this method if you are a new player. Now, I'm doing this in creative mode because I'm not good at this method personally. What you're gonna do, you're gonna break the thing, and let's say you fall. You're going to place water just as you fall, and I actually did that time. So, and you can pick up the water after. I do recommend, if you're gonna do that, I do recommend taking a second water bucket with you just in case your one gets destroyed or you lose it. But yeah, that was tip number 7. We're gonna move on to tip number 8. Okay, so method number 8 is going to be using beds. And as you can see, the Ender Dragon is currently here. So what you're going to do is you're going to place a bed. Bam. Now, a soul following potion does help. I died because I went way too high. But you might want to have some enchants. You might want to have feather falling on your stuff. It is a very efficient method, though. I didn't do it right, but hopefully you guys know. Look at some speedrunners. A lot of speedrunners use this method, so yeah, we'll go to tip number 9. Okay, so number 9 is for those endgame players that can use an elytra. An elytra can be super useful and can really help you. So let's say you destroy this one, then you can go ahead and go to the next one. And you go next one, and you can destroy it. You can reach it without dying. And it can be really useful. Unfortunately, players that have not beaten the Ender Dragon can't unlock this item. But I definitely suggest it if you have already beaten it, or you already have an elytra. So yeah, that was tip number 9. We'll go to the last tip, tip number 10. Guys, for number 10, this is our last one, and it is going to be the Ender Chest. Ender Chest and Shulker boxes. So, Shulker boxes only get unlocked after you've beaten the end. But if you're coming back, they're definitely useful. You can put items in them. But even better is probably the Ender Chest. It's very underused. And personally, I feel that it definitely can get improvements. So, you can see how much you can fill your Ender Chest with. You can fill up a lot of useful materials, and it's easily portable. So let's say you die, and you just need materials, or let's say your armor breaks. Ender Chest is perfect for that, and you can break it and move it around, and it's just perfect. And guys, so that will conclude my top 10 tips on beating the Ender Dragon. If you have any more comments or anything I missed, make sure you guys leave a comment. Make sure you like the video, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.